everybody, it's me, Katie. I'm back for another video. Sorry for the wet hair. I just got out of the shower. I just wanted to make a video before I had to go to school. I wanted to make this video about the different changes in the phone interviews. I think it'd probably be really helpful because I know a lot of people on the Facebook page are really freaking out because things were different. I got a phone interview last time I applied for the DCP program, so I kind of know what the questions were last time, as well as I studied a lot last time and this time for questions. But things are really different. So the main difference is they're really wanting to know your work experience and the work experience that you have, how that will benefit you in a job at Disney. So I have a lot of different, I have a food service, I have retail, guest service, I even have character attendant. I just have a lot of different stuff. So she talked to me a lot about that, and every time she was talking to me about a role, she asked me, how did the experience that I have, the work experience I have, how would that help me benefit from work, you know, like how would that help me working in that role? Also, a big thing that I know a lot of people are not liking is the top 3 roles. They're not asking what your top 3 roles are. Whoa, sorry about my camera just now. They're not asking what your top 3 roles are. They're asking you the top 2 or 3 roles that you would bring the best that you have experience in. So I said merchandise because I've worked in merchandise. I said full service food and beverage because that's what I work in right now as a hostess. And then I said Bippity Boppity Boutique because I used to work at Build-A-Bear. So it's kind of, to me, it's like doing a birthday party or whatever. But I just wanted to go over some of the things. I have all of these like questions that I printed out and I wrote in and like really nothing. They asked how you would benefit from the Disney College program. So not why you want to, but why you would benefit from it. So you really need to make it about networking, resumes, the classes. That's what I said. I told her that I was kind of undecided in school, so I feel like networking would help me a lot. Different stuff like that. But let's see. She didn't ask like how I would deal with repetitive work, which I believe I got that the last time. She did ask if I had any volunteer experience that I didn't write down, and I told her about some stuff. She didn't ask about a time when I made a guest happy, which last time I did. Last time I got asked about a difficult guest and how when I made a guest happy. So that was kind of different. Let's see. She didn't ask what would be the worst part about Disney housing. There weren't very many housing questions. There was 2, I believe. She asked me, would I be okay and if I've ever done it and lived in a house with somebody else? I told her no. And then she asked me what I would do in a situation when there was a conflict with my roommate, which is pretty easy. You should be able to answer that question pretty calm, you know. For attractions, there was a lot of questions about everything. So everything you put an interest to, there was a question. So don't just expect it's going to be questions about your top 3 roles. There was a question about everything. I just said that I would do transportation. I don't have a care except for custodial personally. So I just said that I had interests in things, you know. So she asked me if I wouldn't mind learning how to drive one of the shuttle buses. She asked me if I had a driver's license, all types of stuff. She asked me if I've ever made a presentation, which is an attractions question, in front of a large group of people. What else? She didn't ask me what my 3 best qualities are. she did ask what I'm most looking forward to for the Disney College program, so I would suggest having that question, which should be pretty easy for you. She did ask me how I would, what's the question? How I would make a guest day. That was a question I got, which I don't believe I got that the last time. So there's that. She asked me if I would rather work independently or in a group. Fast-paced or slow-paced environment, so know that. Heat and air conditioner, I think those are the three, top pretty much rules. I would suggest if you really want a role that you don't have experience in, but you would really like, I would suggest kind of like throwing it in there somewhere in a question. So like in a group, in an independent or group, that question, I told her that I'm really big on teams that have been on a soccer team for a long time, swim team on a long time, always worked in group teams. I threw the swim team in there because one of my 3 tops roles was lifeguarding, because I would just love to be a lifeguard. And at Disney World would just be amazing. So I put that in there, but so then at the end, when I gave her the 3 that I was qualified for, she asked me about lifeguarding afterwards. So that was pretty nice for me, because my feeling is I would like to do a job and that I haven't done before and learn something. I don't want to move. I live in California. I don't want to move all the way across, I don't even know how long, like an 8-hour flight or something probably, to Florida and be a hostess, which is what I am now. Which, I mean, if that's what I get, then I'm going to embrace it as much as I can. But at the same time, I think a lot of us are in that position as well. Like, who really has experience in character attendant? I mean, I've worked for the Santa set and the Easter Bunny set when I was 18. So I'm kind of, but I didn't use that because I know a lot of other people really want to be character attendant, and I just, I have more experience in other stuff. So, she asked me, this is something, I just said that I just put character performer. I think I put like moderate or low interest, just because I'm not opposed to character performer. She asked me if I have experience in dance and theater. I told her I don't, and she was like, okay, well, are you going to be able to make it to an audition? And I said, at this time, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it to an audition. And she was like, oh, all right, well, I have to put down now if you're going to be able to make it to an audition or not. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to put that you won't be able to make it to an audition at this time, and that, So they're looking at a lot of questions, and they're looking at what you can bring to Disney, not how Disney's going to benefit you. That's what I think is happening. I've been seeing a lot of videos on YouTube about people being there for like 2 weeks and leaving. So I don't know if that is what's happening. If like they're really trying to get people who want to work and people who are going to benefit Disney instead of Disney benefiting them, if that makes sense, which you're going to be benefited no matter what, obviously. But yeah, I got that. How would you handle an emergency? I didn't get a time when a customer was difficult or when a coworker or a boss was difficult. I didn't get the how would you handle a guest who didn't speak English, which I think I told you about yesterday. Didn't get if I would mind working mornings, weekends, nights. I didn't get are you familiar with the parks? Because I'm only familiar with Disneyland since I live in California. I've never even been to Walt Disney World, but yeah. I put preference on both. I wouldn't mind working at either one. Last time I applied, I set a preference on Disneyland just because that way I wouldn't be, I would only be a drive away, and if I had a weekend off or something, then I maybe would be able to go home. but they only hire about like 200 people, I think. So I think that's one of the reasons I just wasn't too super qualified for it, or my answers. So this time I put a preference on Walt Disney World, and I picked both programs. So she just wanted to make sure, like, your first couple questions are about you and like things that are going on like in your application. So I didn't get what would make you a good candidate. I didn't get what Disney means to me. I didn't get what would be the worst part of Disney housing. So like one of these questions on here that I found was, do you think any of your past jobs will help you in any of your top 3 roles? But now it's like, if you had to pick 3 roles that you are experienced and would be able to do, what are those 3 roles? So that's what I would suggest, having those 3 roles. If somebody, have your top 3 roles that you want, but also have the 3 roles that you are good at and that you are going to bring your experience and expertise or whatever. Are you comfortable handling money? That's a big one. She asked me that about like 3 times, I think. So, I think, you know, for merchandise or whatever. Yeah, but like last time you gave her your 3 top roles, and then they asked you questions based on those 3 top roles. So, that's something, you know, in my opinion, be prepared, look up questions, but at this point, it's really just about you. You are the only one who's going to be able to answer the questions, and they're looking for the job experience and the work experience that you have. So know every job skill that you have. I got a question. She said, oh, you've worked in a lot of different roles. What skills do you have? So have all your skills down, because it's hard to remember everything. If you've had more than a couple, 2 jobs or whatever, it's hard to remember everything that you know and the skills that you have. And like, I wish I had a list, because I think I've had 5 jobs and they're kind of different. Each one's different. I mean, handling money, but I forgot a job when I was telling her about them, and she asked me what I did in that job. So that's why I would just say, I would go, oh, so I worked in a Santa set. I would have said, at the Santa set, I did this. At blah, 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 I did this, I did this, I did this. So I would just be prepared with that. It's a lot more like a job interview. It really is a job interview now. They're wanting you for a job, not for the Disney college program, is how I feel about it. Because they ask you a lot of questions about, oh, your past experience, how would this help you with this? Blah, blah, blah. So this is a really, really long video, and I think I've been staring at myself most of the time. But anyways, good luck to everybody. Don't stress out. It's not as scary as everybody's making it out to be from past videos. It's different. So be prepared for the new questions. I wish I would have recorded it, but you'll be awesome. If you know yourself and you're confident in your answers, you're going to be fine. The big one, the most important one is why would being in the Disney College program benefit you? So be prepared for that one and know all your job skills. And then they're just going to ask you questions about everything you put in interest to and how the jobs that you have had will help you with that job. So be prepared. Don't freak out. It will be totally fine. I hope this helped somebody. And I will talk to you all later. I'll be back maybe tomorrow or the next day with a roommate survey. Anyways, I love you all. Good luck and see you later.